Hey, good morning. It's Wednesday, August 8th, 19th. Great to be with you this morning. Thanks for looking in. I want to return to a theme in James that we've talked about a fair amount, this wisdom from above and wisdom from below. And the wisdom from below is what produces the anxiety, the angst, the frustration, the broken relationships, the fights and quarrels that we so frequently get into. And chapter 3 warns us against this wisdom from below, that it's demonic, that's of this world, and that is driven by envy and selfish ambition. So that's wisdom from below. Wisdom from above is characterized by relationships that bring peace, bring harmony, people where we understand each other, where you work to understand those that you interact with. And your purpose is to bring the peace of God, the reality of serving God to others, so that your wisdom doesn't produce fights and quarrels and angry responses, but rather it brings peace. Sometimes we kind of leave that wisdom from below and wisdom from above back in chapter 3 as if that's not connected, but I believe James is very much connecting these passages with what follows in chapter 4 and even in chapter 5. Notice in chapter 4, he says this, "Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this or to that city, spend a year there, carry on business, and make money." So this is not just business, but this is, if we have a plan, he's talking to you. If you think you have a plan, what you're going to do, listen to what he has to say. Why you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. Echoing Jesus' words, let tomorrow take care of itself. Honor God today. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast and brag. All such boasting is evil. So this idea of planning to get something that I want, whether it's in business or whether it's in relationships, whether it's in school or personal status, I'm thinking I'm going to do this so I can accomplish this and earn this benefit for me, that's driven by envy and selfish ambition. That's not wisdom from above, that's wisdom from below, and that produces the discord. But rather we need to acknowledge our dependence upon God. If I go somewhere and it succeeds, if I have a plan, whether it's a business plan, whether it's carrying out homework, whether it's carrying out work in my house, whether it's trying to build my relationships, whether it's just trying to be faithful and get my life together, diet, exercise, whatever it is, if that plan isn't centered around the will of God making this succeed, then I will delve back into wisdom from below. And I will be consumed with bitterness and angry because things aren't happening the way I want it to. You see, what James is saying here is that you make all these plans about what you're going to do, but in perspective, in terms of relationship to God, as Psalm 73 and other passages tell us, and Ecclesiastes tells us, our life is a vapor, it's a mist. It has no substance on its own. It only has substance as God gives it to us. That's what is so striking here. Wisdom from above means that I'll carry out my plans if it is what honors God. And so my purpose is not selfish ambition and envy and getting ahead of things. My purpose is to use the time and energy I have to show wisdom from above so that the kingdom of God is advanced, so that others are helped, so that peace comes and not discord. If there's discord in your life on any particular level, and granted, it may be caused by the wrong actions of other people, I'm not saying that, but even then, wisdom from above is what brings peace. Look and see if perhaps you're not being driven by selfish ambition and envy, as opposed to wisdom from above. That's the thought for this morning. Wisdom from above is what makes us distinct as God's people. It's what does produce peace. Even when you're being treated poorly, wisdom from above is the guide to know how to act. We are dependent upon the will of God. So the phrase, Lord willing, if the Lord wills, doesn't apply just to business. It applies to everything. Let's put wisdom from below away, which has nothing to do with the will of God, and embrace wisdom from above, which is all about the will of God. Think about that today, and we'll be back tonight. You have a great day. Bye-bye.